Carla, in terms of what you've heard today, what you hoped to hear and what you actually saw delivered?
I think this budget's a missed opportunity.
Here's Carla from the Green Party responding to Rachel Reeves' first Labour budget in 14 years.
I was looking for a budget that makes this country fairer and our economy greener, and the Chancellor could have chosen to be brave and to fund our future by taxing the super rich. There's an increasing groups of MPs across all parties and organisations who were calling on her to do that, but instead she ducked it. And while there were some good things in the budget, there were too many examples of her giving with one hand and taking away with another, like an increase in funding for the NHS. I welcome that. But by keeping the two-child benefit cap, by keeping the limits on winter fuel payment, she's keeping in place policies that harm people's health and harm costs on the increased costs on the NHS.
Carla, you said it was a missed opportunity. Rachel Reeves talked about making responsible choices today. Now, in the election campaign, the IFS accused both Reform and the Greens of poisoning the entire political debate by suggesting your manifesto plans could make a difference while being, quote, entirely unattainable. Today was the real world, wasn't it?
Other organisations had different comments about our manifesto. Your wealth tax experts said that our offering was credible. And a number of other organisations commented and said this is the closest to reality that we've seen. So I'm going to continue to put pressure on the Chancellor to ask those with the broadest shoulders to contribute the most, because what she's done in this budget is she's proposing to raise around 25 billion from tax changes that will mostly affect lower and middle income people, small and medium-sized enterprises, and only around 5 billion from the super rich through changes to capital gains tax. The Green Party thinks that that's the wrong way around, so we'd flip that emphasis around so that those with the broader shoulders, the really super rich who can afford to pay a little bit extra, do so.
Carla, £22 billion extra for the NHS. That is what the public want.
I do welcome the announcement on the increase in day-to-day funding for the NHS. That is also something that the Green Party was pushing for in the general election. However, so many of the policies that Rachel Reeves has put forward in this bill, they just don't make sense. So giving with one hand with NHS funding and taking away with the other by cutting funding for things that help people's health. There's also the situation with transport is another one that doesn't make any sense to me. So she's freezing fuel duty until 2028-29, but she's increasing buses outside of London by 50% for the single fare cap. Yeah, the Chancellor's self-imposed fiscal straitjacket never made any sense, so I'm glad that she's loosened that. I hope she'll use it to do things like bringing the water companies back into public ownership to end the sewage scandal.
Click here for Farage and Suella care about farmers now.